society perspective. How do we do this as a society to actually eradicate anti-Semitism? And I think that is the larger question rather than isolated on the FBI.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you all for being here. Ms. Solomon, I want to be sure I understand your testimony. Did I understand you to testify that anti-Semitism is worse under the Trump administration?
Chaos erupts in the Senate as Senator Kennedy absolutely grills witnesses who try pinning anti-Semitism on Trump while ignoring the blatant campus radicalization happening right in front of America's eyes. Characters stumble, backtrack, and melt under pressure as Kennedy refuses to let anyone dodge responsibility. When one witness claims funding cuts create anti-Semitism, Kennedy fires back with the raw truth about DEI culture, Hamas sympathizers, and universities that look the other way while Jewish students are targeted. What unfolds is a brutal, unfiltered takedown you have to see to believe.
Senator, thank you for your question.
You don't have to thank me. Okay. Your best thanks is to answer.
Okay, well, I'll tell you that anti-Semitism has been rising, especially since the 2017
but has the Trump
Charlottesville
administration
attack.
caused that? Is that your testimony?
I wouldn't say the Trump administration has caused anti-Semitism. Has there been an increase since Trump has entered office? Yes.
Do you see a causal connection there?
Yes.
Why?
Trump has highlighted and platformed neo-Nazis and white supremacists.
Okay. I can't see that far.
Racklin.
Mr. Racklin, I understood you to say that in answer to Senator Durbin's question, the spending reductions, reducing the federal budget would increase anti-Semitism. Isn't that what you said?
No, I did not. I said that the constant threats to cut money to the Office for Civil Rights and the Department of Education prevents the federal government from adequately investigating anti-Semitism and other hate crimes on college campuses.
So you think one way to stop anti-Semitism is to give people more money? Is that right?
I think one of the ways is to actually fund people that are actually designed to investigate anti-Semitism on college campuses.
What's there to investigate? We see it.
We
We
it,
saw
but
it. Did you watch television? Did you see what happened at Columbia?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it was clear to me that the administration at Columbia and most members of the faculty believe passionately in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to hurt Jews. That's what I saw. Isn't that what you saw?
I saw
Isn't that what you saw?
protesters against the war in Gaza and them using some anti-Semitic slogans and thoughts. I would say, however, that it's hard.
Isn't that what you're telling me? That's not what you saw. Now, don't get off the subject on me now. You're telling me that's not what you saw.
I'm telling you that it is difficult for the federal government to adequately address the issue of anti-Semitism.
Are you telling me the Columbia administration and the faculty was supportive of the Jewish community?
I think that they are
You
trying
need
to
to
find
stop dipping into your ketamine stash.
into what? Excuse me?
Now, if we're going to solve this problem, we need to talk about it. And it wasn't just at Columbia. It was at Berkeley. It was at UCLA. It was at Barnard. And Columbia has a history of discriminating against the Jewish people. They used to refuse to let Jewish students come to their university. Now, you can try to bubble wrap this, but that's what I saw. If you want to stop a lot of the anti-Semitism, maybe we need to stop teaching kids to be anti-Semitic.
Sir, I would relish that opportunity.
Let me ask you a question, Ms. Kohab. Did I say that right?
Kohab.
Do you think it's possible to feel compassion for the Palestinian people without hating Jews?
Absolutely.
Would you elaborate on that? Because it looks to me like many of our Ivy League universities, they weren't the only ones. Some universities handled it well. Vanderbilt, University of Chicago, Tulane. But it looks like the administration was teaching kids you got to pick a side. Mm-hmm. You either have to hate Jews or you have to be for Hamas. You can't be, there's no middle ground. Tell me what you saw. You've written a book about it. Maybe Mr. Rocklin ought to read it.
Just because we are testifying, I wrote a chapter in the anthology Young Zionist Voices about what's happening on college campuses, and my book is coming soon, so look out for that.
Good plug, but
so let me answer your question.
Can you feel compassion for the Palestinian people and not hate Jews?
Absolutely. I think that what I've seen on college campuses is a pushing of a Marxist framing of the way that you see the world. And this is not only in liberal studies departments. I've taken dance classes, I've taken creative writing classes, where your final project is literally called the Political is personal. And what they're teaching you on college campuses is that the political is personal and that everything should be personalized. And there's a global north, a global south, a global right, and a global wrong. And the issue with college campuses and what's happening right now in the United States is that we're allowing ideology to drive violence. A society that says that you can commit violent acts based on your ideology because your ideology is correct is a society that's eroding. And that's what I see on college campuses. Now, you asked if I could feel Palestinian peoplehood, right? If I could feel compassion for the Palestinian people. Absolutely. And every night when I go to bed, yes, I pray for the Jewish people, but I also pray for the Palestinian people, for God to send them leaders that actually care more about their safety. Leaders that put their people's safety in order to propel an ideology at risk aren't leaders. If you look at Hamas, they tout what happened after October 7th up until this day as a victory. How can you lie in rubble after thousands of your people have died and call that a victory? So what I see that has to happen on college campuses is de-radicalization. Until you admit that there's a radical ideology happening on a college campus, you cannot fight it. You cannot fight it.
Senator Arano, hey, I know there's a lot of strong feelings in here. We all have them. But each member only has 5 minutes, and it just takes time away from their 5 minutes if you really want to get all these facts out. Ms. Arano.
Watching this hearing unfold had my jaw on the floor, because Senator Kennedy didn't just question these witnesses, he obliterated their talking points in real time. The moment one witness tried to claim anti-Semitism somehow got worse because of Trump, Kennedy locked in and refused to let the narrative slide. He pressed them over and over, and when the witness finally admitted they saw a causal connection, Kennedy exposed how ridiculous that argument was. The room got even hotter when another witness claimed that reducing the federal budget somehow leads to more anti-Semitism. That was the moment I felt the entire hearing shift. Kennedy immediately tore into that idea, saying, "The problem wasn't lack of funding, it's that the anti-Semitism is already visible on campuses, and no amount of bureaucracy changes that." When he pointed to Columbia, UCLA, Berkeley, Barnard, and the long history of Jewish discrimination at elite institutions, everything suddenly became painfully clear. This isn't a funding problem. This is a culture problem. Kennedy wasn't having the spin, the deflection, or the academic jargon. When the witness tried dodging the direct question, Kennedy fired off the now viral line about dipping into your ketamine stash, stunning the room. That moment cut through all the polite political theater and exposed the absurdity of pretending universities aren't endorsing anti-Jewish hostility through DEI ideology and radical faculty activism. Then came one of the most powerful voices in the entire hearing, a young Jewish author who broke down exactly how elite colleges radicalize students using a Marxist oppressed versus oppressor worldview. She explained how students are taught that the political is personal, that ideology justifies violence, and that you must pick a side, hate Jews, or you're automatically on the wrong team. Her clarity hit harder than anything else said in the room. She dismantled the false idea that compassion for Palestinians requires hatred for Jews. She talked about praying for both Israelis and Palestinians, while also condemning Hamas leadership for sacrificing their own people to maintain power and ideology. And when she said real change requires de-radicalization, you could feel that statement pierce through the entire hearing. Put all of this together and the truth becomes unavoidable. The crisis on college campuses isn't being caused by lack of money or Trump or any of the talking points the witnesses tried to push. It's being caused by radical ideology, weak academic leadership, and a culture that excuses extremism as long as it's wrapped in the right political language. Kennedy exposed that. The witnesses tried to dance around it. And the American people got a front row seat to the ideological meltdown happening in real time.